I want everyone who sees this video to know that they deserve the relentless pursuit of what makes them most passionate, like the thing that keeps them up at night, and that they're gonna have people who are frustrated by them and tell them no, but you just gotta keep pushing because we do need people who are passionate about what they do to really fix what ails all of us.
Today, I just hope that people find inspiration in all this conversation. I feel privileged to be part of this conversation and just hope that people pick up maybe just one or two things from this training and hope that they can do the same for others too.
Really start to believe that they deserve the life that they want.
Strictly business perspective, if you want to compete in the next decade or beyond, you need diversity. You need those different values, those different sets of options and opinions and perspectives in order to succeed.
A mentor doesn't need to be this official, you're my mentor, I'm the mentee relationship. It's really just anyone that you feel comfortable enough to go to for advice. I would also say to find your employee resource group. Those employee resource groups can be extremely comforting, and it's a great place to find people that you connect with.
I've definitely learned in my time, the last 4 years in advertising, it is so crucial to ask for what you need and to know who to talk to get those needs met.
And I would like to add that to be open to what an ally could look like. Because a lot of times we get stuck in thinking if someone doesn't look like me that they really can't have my back. That's not true. Allies come in all different forms of gender, ethnicity, sexuality, and you will be surprised with who will step up and support you.
Working in education where there's so many issues regarding equity and social justice, and myself being a person of color and having very strong opinions on that, right, I oftentimes feel that I sort of need to mute those or present them in a kinder, gentler way for the people that I work with so they don't get freaked out.
Being a big black man walking into a room full of engineers, right? The only black guy in the room, you know, and then being my size, you know, first thing that comes to their mind, hey, football player, linebacker, you know, and you know, it was kind of intimidating for a long time, and you know, I had to build the confidence within myself and have faith in what I do, because for some reason things seem to work out really well when I'm being myself.
When I started in construction back in the 1900s,
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
17 years ago.
Stop it.
you know, there weren't many women on the job. And so I would go to work looking as unattractive as possible, scarf on my head, and I did not want to put on anything to be sexualized in the workplace.
That's right.
And so it wasn't until I became a journeyman status that under my hard hat, I did wear lipstick. So when you ask, you know, how do you kind of try to blend in? I can't, you know, every day when I show up, you see my skin color before you notice my gender, even under a hard hat. You know, I can try to look try to blend in as much as possible, but I can't change. This is a pre-existing condition.
And a fabulous one, fabulous
And it's a gift.
That's
Thank
right,
you.
it's a
Yes.
gift.
It's a gift,
That's
Yes.
you know. I mean, the world blossoms through diversity. You know, so bringing that, you know, standing out is what makes you even better. You know, makes you stand out.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
You can't give your best unless you are your best. You can't give all of you unless you show up as all of you. And I think there's a transaction there, if you will. Part of it is, okay, yes, I have to acknowledge and accept that about myself and walk with that, but there's a demand that your employer understands that as well. You're not going to get my best unless you let me be my best, unless you support me in being my best. Because I will give everything that you need, but I can't give if I'm not full. You know, and so I think that's twofold there. Part of it is on us, but then another part of it is on the employer. and creating that environment so that folks can do what they were brought there to do.
I guess because of my accent, an individual asked me where I was from and asked me for my immigration status and intimidated me. Believe me, I wanted to explore it. I wanted to chew this person out. But it took me so long to get in the trade that I was not gonna let that individual get to me. Instead, I just kind of like let it be, but then talk to my union about it to see what's the best way to go. My journeyman, when I told him about it, ended up backing me up, and I didn't even know he was gonna do that. He looked very anti-immigrant and and you know, that's the worst thing that I could have done, to just stereotype. Like Donna said, you never know who's gonna back you up. So yes, find your allies and be smarter than the individual who's attacking you.
People are gonna say dumb things to you, and you're just gonna have to move past them. They did use swear words to emphasize, but I will not, and just, you gotta move past it. I actually feel very bad for them. Like, how small is your world that you don't think that that's wrong, that you would ever say that to me? And I encounter that a lot, and so I just go back to my parents, or I FaceTime them, have a moment, and I have to keep it moving, so.
To me, I think the greatest way to have the isms bounce off of you is to know who you are. And you create this force around you where the isms just kind of bounce off. You know, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. And you can't change that part of it. But you can change how you internalize it, or whether you internalize it. You're gonna face all of the isms. But if you walk in your truest self, and the highest confidence that you can find for yourself, then you lessen the impact that those isms have on you. And I think we all just want a little less pain. You know?
I was gonna say, so I think sometimes you were actually just talking about how when it happens, like when you are in a meeting and you share an idea, and then a man, usually most times a man, will reiterate the same idea. Sometimes like that shock, it can make you feel really, really small in that moment, in real time. And it's really hard to interrupt and say like, wait, I just said that, and advocate for yourself, because then the whole room's like, yeah, guy, that's a great idea, after you just said it like 5 seconds ago.
But what I found too is that depends on the audience. Having someone else reiterate your point may actually make it more powerful. And so you want to get credit for that power. So what you do is let them speak. And then when they're done speaking, you say thank you. Thank you for reiterating my point. Thank you for making my point again. Because now all of a sudden they realize, you just did my bidding for me. You just reminded everyone that you were the originator of the idea. Okay? So just tell them thank you. Genuinely.
I'm so excited. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Such a classy way to